Hello everyone, it's Christina from Our Wood Home. This week we're going to be looking at Proverbs 31 verses 13 to 14. This is, I think, the fourth video now in my Proverbs 31 study series. I hope you've been enjoying that. So let's get right into it today. Just a reminder that the Bible translation I use is New American Standard Version, NASB, so it might be worded slightly differently from your version. So Proverbs 31, 13 and 14 says, "She looks for wool and flax and works with her hands in delight. She is like the merchant ships. She brings food from afar." These verses were kind of confusing to me at first. So I did some research and found a few different schools of thought on what this passage means. So let's start with wool and flax. They're both used for clothing, wool obviously from sheep, but flax is made from the fibers of a plant, and it was used to make linen. In biblical times, all garments were made from either wool or linen. Wool was used in heavier fabrics for colder weather, but it was worn over linen garments, whereas linen was typically a warmer weather fabric. So our Proverbs 31 model lady plans ahead by ensuring she has both materials to clothe her family in all weather. The words "looks for" in verse 13 indicate the care she took in finding these materials. She didn't just grab the first thing she saw or pick whatever was cheapest. She made an effort to look for good quality wool and flax. When we read "she works," this means she is purposefully seeking ways to provide for her family in the way she is able. She may not be the finest weaver around, so perhaps she hires someone to weave the fabric she'll use for clothing. But she is still taking the steps to provide for her family in this way. Let me ask you a question. How often do you delight in your chores or tasks, all the stuff that is involved with running a home? Do you delight in grocery shopping, laundry sorting, toilet scrubbing? I admit that I don't always, but the worthy wife as described here does. She would have gone to market in order to find her wool and flax, maybe even multiple markets or multiple sellers. Then she either had to carry all of the stuff back herself or arrange for transport. And if she spins and weaves the materials, that's a whole other chore, but she works in delight. She enjoys her tasks, even though they may seem mundane. I discovered a lot of differing thoughts on verse 14, so I'll share two of the most common and let you know which I think is more accurate. Merchant ships would bring in items that were not available in the immediate area, and people would be able to purchase them. So perhaps the Proverbs 31 woman sells woven garments and uses the profits to buy special and exotic foods from these merchant ships? If so, that would indicate her willingness to use her talents to support her family. Comparing her to a merchant ship could also mean that she actively seeks ways and places to sell her goods for profits. That was the first way of thinking, but the second school of thought is that she is actively seeking interesting and healthy foods for her family's meals. Ships are not a fast-moving vehicle. They are slow and they take their time to reach their destination. They are loaded with items, since it would not be practical to partially fill them and make many more trips. Perhaps the comparison of this woman to a merchant ship is meant to be taken as a form of encouragement for modern homemakers. Like ships, we should take our time to make healthy and tasty meals for our families. I know it is so easy to load your grocery cart with frozen pizzas, soups in a cans, and heat and serve meals. And there's nothing wrong with those on occasion, but as homemakers, we should be taking the time and effort and making a self-sacrifice to prepare home-cooked meals to the best of our means. And yes, I did say sacrifice. In Ephesians 5, verses 1 and 2, it says to be an imitator of God and walk in love as Jesus did. Jesus also sacrificed himself for us, so surely we can make a few sacrifices in our own life. I mean, I would quite enjoy sitting on the couch reading a good book all day, but I know that there are important things to do around the house. I am sacrificing or giving up something I want in order to serve the needs of my household. For those reasons, I believe the second school of thought on Proverbs 31:14 is most accurate. And you may be thinking, that's all fine and dandy, but how does that stuff about wool and flax fit into my life? I like the idea of home-cooked meals too, but I can't afford to buy fresh stuff all the time. Well, here are my thoughts for applying these verses to our lives. 1. We should be diligently thinking about the needs of our family now and in the future. 2. We should be taking care to meet those needs and not looking for the quickest or cheapest solution. Looking for a bargain is great, but buying poor quality items will only cost us more later since we'll have to replace them often. Thirdly, we should use our unique skills and abilities to provide for or contribute to our family. For example, I sell some knit goods and I make custom dresses and head coverings to make a small income. We don't rely on that income, but it's nice to tuck it away and save it for either a large purchase or for something fun. But providing and contributing doesn't have to just mean financially. You can use your cooking skills, organizational know-how, and more to make your home run smoothly. Number 4, you should choose to joyfully serve your family and God, even in what may seem like menial tasks. And finally, we should be striving to put our family's needs above our own. I hope that all clears that up a bit. I'm curious to know which of the two interpretations of verse 14 you relate to most or feel is most accurate. As I say in most of my videos, I'm not an expert in anything, including Bible study and interpretation, so I do sometimes turn to trusted and reliable sources to figure out what these verses could be saying, and then I make my own decisions based on that. So this is just my personal opinion in this post. Do your own research in scripture and come to your own conclusions. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please take the time to go check out the rest of the Proverbs 31 series if you haven't done so already. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day.